Hi everyone, welcome back to another video here on the channel. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Warren Bennett. We've got Trev pretty chilled on the floor down there today. And this is another sub swing we've got for you. Basically a sub swing is any subscriber to the channel can send in their swing to me via the Insta or the Facebook page, the Academy, and I'll be quite happy to do a free evaluation for them. So we've got Kieth this week and yeah, let's get to it and I'll show you Kieth's swing. Okay everyone, so as you can see, I'm going to roll Kieth's swing alongside me, and this is a good way for you guys to actually see a real life event. What I mean by that is, it's all very well me showing you kind of positions and stuff like that, but this is now me giving feelings to a golfer out there in the real world. So if you suffer from any of these faults, it's worth a listen. But be careful because, like I said, everyone's different. Everyone's got different physical capabilities, etc., etc. So always take this stuff with a pinch of salt. And there's some stuff with Kieth's swing that I see that he may have worked on in the past, and it didn't work. So this is where it's always beneficial to always have one-to-one lessons. But let's see, you might get something out of it, Kieth. Hope you do. So Kieth plays off 3.5. So obviously he's now what I would class as an elite golfer, and you can see he's got a lovely swing. So I'm going to kind of teach you, Kieth, in terms of what I see kind of elite golfers do actually. You do have an elite golfer's fault. And Kieth says he doesn't hit the ball distance-wise as long and as far as he thinks he should. And yeah, I'm going to kind of give you a few little pointers, Kieth, hopefully that will work. So first of all, posture, which is okay. I obviously see that your left foot's sprayed out too much. Kieth has a problem, he said, with his back, and then he has a problem with his left ankle. So I'm going to guess, Kieth, that your problems with your left ankle, that you've obviously sprayed your left ankle out a lot to be able to turn through, to not put the pressure on it. So I'm guessing that that's happened, which is fine. I like that left foot being sprayed out like that. The first initial kind of reaction I see to your swing is, as you can see now, if I can try and get Trev out of the way. Trev, you going to come up? Good boy, lie down. So as you can see from the behind view, the first initial move, Kieth, that you do, you have quite a flat backswing. So this is these arms from the behind view, you can see gap quite early and the club gets really flat halfway back. So left arm parallel to the ground for you is you get quite stuck behind it. Now, like I said at the start, you might have in the past have become too steep. So you wanted a flatter swing. But I'm going to guess that that's maybe a fault of yours. So I'd like to kind of feel a little bit more kind of a steeper plane going back. So you can see from here, you kind of try and find the top of the backswing. And to be fair, like you can see, you get in a lovely top of the backswing position. But you can see the balances of this club is starting to go kind of around and yeah, behind you and that way. Now you don't come over the top, because your club kind of gets in quite a nice plane position, but there is no compression coming down. And that's kind of the thing you said in one of your comments to me. You said, and that's probably why the distance loss. Because you have looked like you create quite a nice speed, but it looks to me that you don't have that compression. And I think this is the reason why your club goes in and around, up, kind of not over, but it's kind of fishing a little bit. So you kind of lose a little bit of angle coming down. You can see from the front view, and it gets kind of disconnected on the follow through. So as you can see, your arms, Kieth, get a little bit further away from you on the follow through. So there's no kind of rotation, pivot, keeping the angle and really squeezing that ball. So what I would do, Kieth, if I were you, is obviously you've got a net at home, which is fantastic. So I would work on little half swings, bud, right? So what I mean by that is, let's work on this position on the backswing, halfway back. So let's get in this position where you're kind of feeling like your left arm is a little bit more into your chest on the way back. Your left hand, your glove hand, and if you had a logo, it's still pointing kind of to the target, so you're not opening and rolling. So you're basically keeping everything as tight as you can for this first little quarter of the backswing. Kind of feeling like this club is looking at the ball a little bit longer. Then from there, you're kind of hinging it up, and that's as far as you go by now. So You don't go any further than that. So you have nice little half swings. You can, from the corner peripheral vision of your eyes, in the corner of your eyes, you can kind of just see your hands. Don't go with it with your head, but keep it nice and tight, as you can see there from the behind view. Club's still way outside my hands, and that's going to now want the club to hinge up a little bit steeper. Now obviously from there, like we've said in previous videos, Kieth, is the more you can get the club standing on its end, the more it wants to just drop under you. And now all of a sudden, because it's now, we've got a now shallow angle, and your hands and right arm is starting to do this, now you can have automatic lag without, you don't want to try and keep lag. Right, so that's first port of call, I would say, Kieth. Keep everything the same, but really slow, just for the starters. Really keep that left hand, glove hand pointing to the target. Exaggerate it as much as you can. Only until you kind of pass maybe 7 o'clock on the clock face, as you can see from the front view. And from there you just hinge it up as much as you can. You could always put like a golf bag behind you to make sure, give you some sort of feedback. And then from there, Kieth, I'm not going to hit a ball yet. And from this halfway back position, obviously I'm going to stop now to show you, but I don't want you to stop in terms of a drill. You keep everything the same. Now I would say when you come down, probably because the cause is kind of this around and over, but you can see from here you get in a nice position in terms of your club coming into the ball, but there's no compression, and your hands and arms get disconnected away from you, and you get a bit your arms get too out to the right there. Instead of, I'd like you to kind of really feel like there's some more rotation of your top half. It's a blend of those two things, Kieth, I would start. So let me just show you for hitting a ball. So nice and slow, hinge it up, turn through. You can see it's not a distance exercise. You're really working, Kieth, at that trunk rotation. Club into your belly if you're not sure what that is. And then you kind of grip the club down to the steel to make sure it kind of looks and feels normal. And from there you can see now, if I turn everything through, everything's going. You can see from that behind view, you can see my hands are disappearing behind my legs and body, and the club is arcing left. You have this this position here, you have this club going away from you, which you can play good golf. Hey, Kieth, you're a 3.5. Everyone would bite your hand off. But if you want your compression, a little bit more kind of consistency of trajectory and things like that, this is what I'd love you to do. So little half swings, keep the back of your hand looking down the target, keep the club outside your hands, hinge it up, and then turn through and hold. And you can see now, I'm really turned through, and there's no flicking at all of these hands. This is obviously drill number 1, keeping it nice and steady, Kieth, if you can. Right. Really delay that club going behind you, Kieth, as much as you can, buddy. Hinge it up. If you want to hold it, you can. Either check it, you can. So it's on the side of too steep, but I'd like you to feel that. Steep, turn. So all I'm doing from that top of the backswing, Kieth, I'm feeling my arms and hands to go around me, but my steering wheel are my shoulders and my belly button. So it's like a torso rotation, Kieth. So I'm twisting, getting my right knee off the floor, really putting some pressure down into the ground, through the ball as well. So that'll really give you that kind of ball turf feel as well, without being steep. Right, so that's real good for, like we've said on previous videos, Kieth, internals. Hip height to hip height. Basically left arm parallel to the ground, right arm parallel to the ground. Very hard to change when you're hitting full shots. Right, really slow-mo this time so I can really be aware of the movements while in motion. Hinge, down. So I'm really feeling like my arms are following what my body is doing here. There's no separation at all. And then from there, you can work your speeds up. Until you can really feel that compression's working, Kieth. And then from there, you can work your length. So I would say a little bit longer backswing to start with. Don't make a longer follow through. It's not a distance exercise, bud. So a little bit longer backswing, as you can see. So I'm keeping that first quarter the same. Really, there's no delay. Behind you, there's no gap between my arms. What you don't want to see is a gap. You can see there's kind of separation and independent movement early. Don't want that. A little bit longer now, so longer means there's going to be a little bit of pivot and a little bit of coil, in your trunk. A little bit thin, but that was all right. And then you just work it, Keith. You just keep working those drills, bud. First backswing, second follow through. You can let it go a little bit if you want. So you're really feeling like these hands are disappearing, but you don't just pull them across. The steering wheel is your pivot, is your rotation, Keith. Rotation first, and obviously you're keeping your arms quite close to your body on the way down. So there's kind of keeping that pressure, my bicep and tricep there, keeping it into my body, not letting this go out and get disconnected, bud. And then work it through. Build the speed up. Don't have to worry about, because you're hitting into your net, don't have to worry about what the ball's doing. Hopefully you'll feel a little bit more compression, and at impact you'll hopefully feel a little bit more kind of on top of the ball, a bit more squeezed, and then just work it through. And on the golf course I would just kind of really work at, if you said to me, right, if I'm playing, what do I work on? Do I work on backswing? I'd leave your backswing alone. Because remember, a golf swing is all about the club coming in from the inside, back to square, and back to the inside again. You have it a little bit inside and a little bit away and outside. Good player's fault though, bud. That's why you're off 3.5. Right, so I'm going to do a full swing here, but take the pace off it. And you can see you can blend and layer these feelings because you're changing a bit of speed and keeping it nice and smooth, so you've got some awareness time whilst the club's in motion, you see. Everyone, if you're an over-the-topper, you need a bit of Kieth actually. You need to get these arms and hands kind of away from you. Remember, that's why everyone's individual. But you can see with Kieth's swing how nice he is in terms of his arms swing. For this, I'm working on Kieth's body swing. He wants a little bit more rotation. So Kieth, work it into your different speeds, drill work. Even if you want to work it at tiny, tiny swings, bud, like there. Really works. If you're not sure, really take the pace off it and really take the length off your swing. It's always easier to work small and blend as much as you can. You can see how much I kind of getting off my right side. My head stays pretty still though. I'm not leaning into it. And work those speeds up, Kieth, as much as you can. And without having to try and hit it harder, you'll hit it further. And that's the key. That's what compression is, as we know. It's what these top players have. And hopefully, over time, you'll feel that kind of real pressure into the ball. So backswing first. Don't get it behind you too early. Keep it out in front of you. Hinge it's nice and steep. Remember, hinge. Keep it nice and steep. That allows the club to shallow without you thinking about it. Right, let's go for it. Right, Kieth, I hope that helps. So, like I said, try and give you the major things. And obviously there's some smaller parts to your golf swing, but that's, I would say, is your main ingredients to your swing. Right, bud, so I hope that helps. So send through some updates. I'd love to do another one and show everyone your improvements, hopefully. So yeah, everyone, so if you want to send in your swing, please do via Instagram or Facebook, the Academy pages. And I look forward to seeing you on the next upswing. From myself and Trev there. We'll see you on Friday. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you then. Have a great week. Bye-bye.